Well, now we know. Okay, so I am Karen of the Karen Tarver Style blog. Before I jump into a quick intro, I think probably most of the people on right now know this already, but Lori and I know each other because our kids are married to each other. Lori's daughter, Nicole, is married to my son, Jordan. And that's how we met. And I feel so very lucky to not only have a wonderful daughter in law, but to have a wonderful friend that I've gotten from that relationship. So Lori and I have had, we just really hit it off from the beginning. So just quickly about me and about this event, Lori and I have recognized over time that we talk to the same community of women, the same sort of age group, and we talk about different things, but they have crossovers. So you may already know that Lori started wellness articles that she's been writing since March. Was it March or April? March, I think.
March.
And we have them on my blog. So we've collaborated that way. It's been a really amazing partnership, I think, because I write about fashion and style and beauty and makeup and fun things like that. But I talk to women who are 50s and up mostly. And so it's really great to have Lori's input in on the health side of things because it's so much of what we are dealing with at this phase of life is around that. So just really quick about the blog. I started my blog 10 years ago at age 60. I'm about to turn 70 in 3 weeks. And I started the blog because a coworker of mine who was the age of my kids, not my age, but she would hear me, people would ask me, oh, where'd you get that? Or what kind of makeup is that? Or what are you wearing? And she would hear me say to people, tell them what I was wearing or using. And she said one day, kind of off the cuff, Karen, you should start a blog. And I'm like, no way. I'm 60 years old and I don't even know how I would start the blog. But she planted the seed and I had this kind of fashion passion anyway. And I love to write. So sort of from that little seed that was planted in my love of writing and fashion, the blog was born in 2016. But I had to make it go live. And I was terrified to put myself out there. It was a really scary thing, kind of like, look at me, that feeling. And so a really close friend of mine, knowing that I kept putting off pushing the publish button, said, Karen, why don't you launch it on your birthday? And so on my 60th birthday, I launched the blog, and that was 10 years ago. I've had a lot of fun. I have explored fashion for myself, and I think along the way, share things that other women in my age group deal with. And I deal with the trends. I deal with what looks good, what doesn't look good, how we can interpret trends for our age. And so now I'm about to turn 70. I'm thinking, am I going to continue this? I'm 70, but like, why not? Why 70 is the new what? I'm in my head, I'm 35. Seriously, that's how I feel, 35 in my head. So it's just a new season of life. And now my collaboration with Lori is kind of giving it new life again. So that's me.
Yay. Thanks, Karen. That
We'll
was
give you- I
awesome.
think we'll send links in case you're interested in taking a look at the blog later on.
Yeah, we'll be sending all that out. Thanks, Karen. That was a great intro. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Lori Rappy. And as Karen said, we have this amazing relationship, and I am thrilled that my daughter has such an amazing mother-in-law and that I have a friend. And we've been friends for years, and I Karen is my go-to style person myself personally. So to have this opportunity to collaborate with her on her blog and to bring in the wellness side of it was really an honor. So, and now that the fact that we get to be here and, co-host this together is a lot of fun. So, but for those of you who don't know me, I know most of you here do, but those that are watching the recording might not know who I am. Um, Lori Rappy. I am a functional medicine certified health coach at Thrive Functional Wellness Center. My husband and I actually have an office here in La Quinta. And, I feel so privileged because for over 16 years, we've been doing functional medicine and working with women, men as well, but I do love working with women and just helping women through all different seasons of life. But this season really is my favorite because I'm in it with you. You know, I'm 58. I'm also in my midlife. So all of this also applies to me. And all of it is very personal for me too, because 30 years ago, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. And let's just say what the medical model had for me, I did not like. So Plan B was invented way back in the 90s. And luckily, I was able to get myself in remission and keep myself in remission. So I'm passionate about what I talk about. And anybody who's met me in person, I really hope that that's what you feel as well, because I live it, I breathe it. It's not just what I teach. So it's really an honor to be here in front of other women and to be able to talk about where we're at, because you're not alone. The way that you feel, you're not alone. And that's really what we're going to talk about today. There's a lot of noise, a lot of distraction about midlife. There's so much out there, right? And I want this conversation to be different because it's a really, really important conversation. So there's a lot of things that we all have in common, and I'm going to go to a slideshow in just a minute. But so the similarities are there, whether it's health issues, right? In this season of life, we have things like hormone issues, retirement, changes in career, changes in family, spouse issues, becoming grandparents. There's just so much happening. So that's where the similarities are. But the truth is, that's really where they end, right? The solutions for all of us are very, very different. And that's really what I want to speak on now. So I'm going to share my screen. Bear with me for a moment as I get it all up here. Okay. So hopefully everyone can see my screen. If you can give me a little thumbs up. Okay. So
Yeah.
oh, thank you. So I have tons to talk about, and Karen has tons to talk about. So I'm gonna try not to talk too fast or anything, but I just have a lot that I want to share. And I have a couple things. We're gonna do a live Q&A at the end. So please keep your questions to the end. You can put them in the chat or you can just write them down, but we'll just get through kind of what we want to share first, and then we're excited to hear what you have to say as well. So again, here we are, thriving in our midlife, feeling better in your body and loving how you show up. This conversation is so important because we're literally talking about things internally and externally. So really, really fun. So I hope everybody has the little sheet that I made for you. There's some things here to fill out, and then we're going to talk about the morning and evening routine. But I really hope that you find this useful. It was trying to put kind of all my thoughts right there in one spot. So right. Who doesn't know how this feels? That woman right there, right? Just, I have these conversations every single day with women. I just feel off. I just don't feel like myself, right? I have low energy. My weight has changed. I have brain fog. I have sleep anxiety. I want to tell you, you're not alone. You are not alone in this. And tell me, raise your hand if you've had any of these, for those of you who I can see, right? Thank you for sharing that. We've all been there. We've all, even Karen and I, we've all been there. Even myself, I teach about this all the time. Doesn't mean I haven't gone through it myself, right? So I'm so excited that we're here and we're having this conversation, and it's really my passion. I've shared this with Karen so much. It's really my passion to speak more to just women because I really feel like I said earlier, there's so much noise, there's so much distraction, right? And I feel like we need to support each other more. There's so much comparison, there's so much competition. And if we could just all be in the same room, sharing how we feel, right? So we can feel seen, we can feel heard, we can feel supported. We may not have the answers for everybody, but sometimes it's just being able to express it, because you go to the doctor and the doctor tells you, oh, you're fine, right? Your husband, your spouse, the people around you are just like, are you okay? What is going on? So you probably push it down, right? Well, that doesn't work. So this is why we are here and starting the trend of women supporting women because it's really important. And for us, our passion is that you thrive in midlife, just not just getting by, enough with just getting by. So this is time to reframe. And if you hear nothing else but this is so important to me. It is not in your head. You are feeling off for a lot of different reasons. And it's not necessarily that it's your willpower or that you're failing at something, but really there's a lot of biology. There's a lot going on inside that we don't talk about, but we're going to talk about it today. So, and I know you've heard by a doctor, maybe a family member, a friend, oh, you're fine. Just get over it. You're fine, right? Who can relate to that? Just, oh, I'm fine. Yeah. But you don't feel fine. And you know you don't feel fine. I don't know about you, but I'm the type of person that if enough people tell me that, I go kind of quiet. I go quiet and I just kind of try to figure it out myself because I'm like, they're not understanding me. They go quiet. That's why I'm so happy when women reach out and call me and call the office so that we can have these conversations. So you know you're not alone. So this is really, really important. And I said this at the beginning, and it really is almost the foundation of everything I'm going to talk about. We all have similar problems, but the solutions are different. Every one of us, let's say we all are fatigued. You can just pick one thing. All of us here, we're tired. God, we are so tired. Well, guess what? The solution are completely different. So let's talk about that. So, what is actually going on? Again, I talked about there might be weight issues, fatigue, sleep issues. You're feeling moody, you're having digestion issues, or you're just like, I wake up and I feel like a totally different person, right? I've tried all the things that used to work in my 30s. Well, guess what? That is not working anymore. Why? Because our bodies have changed. Internally, we have changed, and it's time to accept it. It's not a bad thing, it's accepting things have changed. And this change, actually, we really start to see it in your 40s, is really in your early 40s. So what are some of the changes? Hormones, your estrogen and your progesterone, those are shifting like crazy, right? Think about it. You had a cycle, you had your period for how long? 20, 30, 40 years, right? You had it for a really long time and now it's stopped. You don't think that's going to take time. Your body is like this, trying to figure it out. I'm high, I'm low, I'm this. And unfortunately, a lot of people call me and they say, oh, yeah, I started having hot flashes because my period stopped, but no worries, I'm on an estrogen patch and progesterone cream. I'll say, okay, cool. Have you had any of that tested? Do you actually know that you're low in estrogen? Just because you're having a hot flash does not mean that you're low. There could be other things happening. You have to test because if not, it's dangerous to just start messing around with those hormones that control so much in our bodies, right? So we have to know what's going on. And the hormones is just one little piece. There's a ton of other stuff going on as well. Sorry, let me just admit these people in. Ton of other stuff going on. Your cortisol levels, stress. Nobody here has any stress issues, right? Nah, right? No, there's no stress. And stress, what's interesting about stress is a lot of people just think of it as emotional stress, maybe financial stress, right? Those are big ones. There's a lot more to it. Physical stress. If you are in pain every single day, that type of stress does the same damage to your body as the emotional stress, as the financial stress, the family stress, whatever it is, the stress at work. Stress all on its own, all by itself, without any of these other issues, can throw off your entire body. People do not give stress enough credit for the damage that it does, to be honest. So it's really important to add a stress stress tools, stress management tools. And in fact, in the month of April, on the blog and newsletter that Karen and I did together, I shared tips all month because April is Stress Awareness Month. So I share tips all month on tools. There's so many tools out there. We all know what we're supposed to do. What you need to do is find what works for you, what feels right, and what will you actually apply. That's why when I talk about there's so much noise out there, there's so much distraction, right? The first thing is you have to decide, what do I need is the first thing, and what am I willing to do? What are the changes I'm willing to make? Because that's also very different. But these are all areas we need to look at. We have to look at your adrenals. We have to look at your cortisol. And it changes. There are times it's supposed to be high, time it's supposed to be low. But when we're ramped up and it's high all day, oh, wow, that is causing so much damage to our body. Blood sugar. Oh, who's thinking about blood sugar, right? Having a high A1C, being having insulin resistance, having issues with sugar, and almost everybody that I meet is sugar addicted. If you're eating just regular food, you're sugar addicted, right? You don't have to eat candy all day to be sugar addicted. There's enough sugar, processed sugar, artificial sugars in our food that make us all addicted to it. So remember, we talked about we're having fatigue issues, sleep issues, weight issues. There's all these things going on. Well, this is just the first step of identifying what's going on in my body, right? Your body isn't broken. Your body is changing. And the truth is, the way that we see disease, pain, issues. We see these as signs, signals, little warning, red flags. Your body just starts off really low. Lori, you don't feel good. Something's wrong. It's like a little whisper, right? Guess what? I didn't listen to the whisper because I was busy. I was busy with life. Oh, okay. So my stomach hurts after I eat. Okay, I'm bloated. Oh, I have a few hot flashes. Oh, it's fine, right? No, that whisper, if you don't listen, it starts screaming at you. And it's the screaming is it's asking for support. It's saying, hey, Lori, things are changing in here, but you're not changing how you're treating me. I need something different. I need something new. My body is different. Help me. It's like there's this little mini you trapped inside saying, things are changing. Help me, please. Don't keep doing what you were doing before because it's not working, right? Um, Now, since I am talking just to women here, a topic that I see every single day is a lot of times as women, we feel like taking care of ourselves is selfish. Taking care of ourselves means that we're not taking care of everybody else, and somehow we've been taught to prioritize everybody else before ourselves. Well, anybody who knows me and has been through our programs or has spoken to me on any level knows self-care needs to be your priority. No one is going to take care of yourself the way that you will. And you have to stop just pushing through things. When we were in our 30s, even our 40s, and we had so much going on, and you can multitask and you're running with the kids and you're doing that. Okay, that was working. Guess what? It's not working anymore. Your body wants a different solution, and it's keeping score. The pain you're having, the issues you're having, the diseases that pop up, that's your body keeping score. So, we're talking a little bit about internally what's going on. Well, guess what? What is out there externally, nutrition, your exercise, your movement, your stress, your sleep, your mind self, your self-talk, your daily routines, your supplements, this has a huge impact on how you feel, right? We are a whole body. And I feel like because the medical model, when you go to the doctor, they just look at one thing, you tell them, oh, my thyroid is off. So they look at your thyroid, they don't look at anything else, they don't talk about anything else But guess what? This is off because this is off because this is off because this is off. It's how your body works, right? It's all connected. Well, the way you treat your body, that also affects everything. So it has to be part of the solution. Is this you with your big bag of supplements that you're taking every day? Is this you? Are you wondering if you actually need all of these supplements? Well, don't misunderstand me. We recommend supplements to our wellness members and our patients every single day, but we recommend supplements that are very specific to support areas that are out of balance in your body. We're not just talking about getting the latest fad, what your favorite influencer is taking, what the new shiny object is. We're talking about running blood work, identifying exactly what your body needs so that whatever supplements you're taking, your body actually needs to help support an area that's out of balance. So who can relate to that? Who has all these supplements, right? Because my neighbor took it, it helped with that. And then you take it and you're like, it didn't work for me. You know why? Because the underlying root cause of why this is happening, you're not addressing it, right? So you have to figure out what is going on here so you can specifically address that. So I love that little video there. But this, I love this visual. I show this to people that we work with in our functional wellness office and the wellness journey. This is part of the solution. People who come to us and they're like, okay, Lori, do you have some supplements for me? Yeah, we do, but it's just one piece of the puzzle, right? Are you guys seeing that? It's just one small piece of the puzzle. You cannot take some supplements and think, awesome. I'm good to go. Because I'm sorry to say, there's a lot more going on. All of these things, your routines, detoxing, getting your hormones in balance, calming your nervous system. What you eat is so important. You are fueling your body. Your movement, you've got to get moving every single day. This is really, really important, especially as we age and lifting heavier weights. This is really, really important. Sleep. We need more sleep. We have to rest. We have to recover. And the support, that's the piece of where we support people, the mindset, the supplements, right? It's all part of a big puzzle. Because the truth is, as women, here we are, we're pushing through, even though we wake up going, oh my God, another day. I don't know that I can do this today. I'm exhausted, right? And we've all been there. And we didn't stop. We didn't just stop and say, what do I need? I need something different. And I may need some help too, right? You can't show up fully anywhere, your life, relationships at work, if you are running on empty. And I'm here to say most of us are running on empty. We are not fueling our bodies correctly. So, and part of the showing up, right, is this confidence, right? And this is the piece that Karen is going to talk more about too, how you show up. But there's also inside, right? If you are so used to shrinking because you don't feel good, so you want to kind of hide. It's like what I said earlier that I know for me and a lot of women that I talk to that when we start talking about how we feel and people are like, oh, you're fine. Oh, stop it. Oh, it could be so much worse. You kind of go quiet. So every time you go quiet, you're shrinking. You shrink a little bit. But when you feel supported, right? When you fueled your body with the right food, when your hormones are in balance and you're just like, whoa, I feel really good. Just because we're aging does not mean we have to feel like crap. It does not mean that. And a lot of times I know people tell me, oh, the doctor said I'm just aging, it's fine. It's like, well, it's not fine. You can say okay and you just fine. Does that mean you're not going to move? You still have years and years to go. So we like to say there's that plan B. There's so many other things that you can do. So you're not chasing this confidence, right? Because right now, when you don't feel good, you just you go small because you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know when you go somewhere who's going to show up, right? Which part of me? Is it the brain fog part of me that's going to show up? Is it the happy side of me, or is it the moody side of me? Or, oh my gosh, what if I eat this and it makes me sick? So how can you feel confident, right? So, but when your body feels supported, you can shine, you can expand. I love that. Okay, I got to talk about it. I got to talk about the weight loss. It's everywhere right now. And I'm doing a longer article in the blog, the newsletter with Karen talking about weight loss. This is everywhere, and it is probably the most frustrating thing I see online right now because really weight loss, it's not about willpower. It really isn't. And usually it's not a willpower, it's not a discipline problem, it's a data problem. Why are you holding on to the weight? Is it inflammation? Is it hormones? Is it blood sugar? Is it anemia? It could be so many different things, right? And so if you're not addressing why you're keeping it on, you could do all these fad things that temporarily take it off. But guess what? If you haven't addressed what's going on in here, the hormones, the cortisol, the thyroid, the inflammation, right? Then you're not going to keep that weight off because those root causes are still happening. You haven't addressed it. There really aren't any shortcuts. And ladies, get off the scale, please. That scale is the biggest, if I could say a bad word, I would, but it messes with your mind. It really does. I have people I know, they get on it every morning, and depending on that number, it's up an ounce or down. That's how their day is. Oh, I'm happy today. Oh, I'm not happy today. I'm not eating today. Oh, I can eat today. Look at the power you are giving this scale. It's crazy. And this, I thought this was funny. I feel like back in our 20s, right? We all thought, oh, just eat a smaller meal, eat a smaller portion. That fixes everything. Well, it doesn't. It doesn't anymore. So what we need to do is identify why is our body holding on to the weight? Stop doing these extreme diets, right? Stop starting over that yo-yo. Oh, okay, Monday, I'm going to go so strict. None of those work. It's about finding a pattern that you can work on every day a little bit, and you can show up a little bit and be consistent. If you remember back at that wheel, right, in all those areas, and you can be consistent in taking care of yourself. So I wanted to share just something simple, simple, small, consistent things that you can do today. Very simple things. Protein first. This will help to stabilize your blood sugar. All of your organs need protein. This idea of just having this little bitty piece, no, eat, ladies, eat, please. These little tiny plates, we need to stop doing that. Our bodies need fuel. Our brains need fuel. I had a lady who came in here one day and she just looked at me. She was here for different treatments and she's like, you work with women, right? You help with hormones. And I'm like, I do all of that. And she says, brain fog. Why do you think I have brain fog? And I laughed. Well, it could be probably 10 different things. And she was just completely floored. I said, besides all the hormone things, the gut issues, the inflammation, all of those, just not having enough protein, not fueling your body properly can be a big part of that. So stabilizing your blood sugar, protein first, having your balanced meals, and doing some stress management work. Really, really important. So I want you to be honest with yourself. And these are things I want you to think about. And when you're working on with your paperwork here, this is where I want you to connect with your body. And again, I have lots of videos out there and Karen shares more because I don't want to take up, sorry, I don't want to take up all the time so Karen doesn't have her time. But there's so many things I want you to connect with your body. I love to put my hand on my heart and my hand on my belly and just connect and ask yourself, what feels off? What are you struggling with? What have you been putting off? But be honest with yourself, okay? So, um, since we've been talking about functional medicine, and I'm going to show you this slide next. These are all different ways you can get in touch with me, from my website to my Facebook, my Instagram, TikTok, free discovery calls, because in our office, in our functional wellness clinic, we always start off in whenever somebody wants to work with us, running a 90 marker blood work panel. It just gives us so much information of what's going on. It's that starting point, right? So if you really, really want to find out and get answers to what's going on in your body, I have 50, it's $50 off. Look, I don't have the other price. It's normally $450, but it's $50 off. So it's $400 for the 90 marker blood work panel and for a meeting with Dr. Rapping, my husband, who will go over all the results with you and then make recommendations in all those areas on the wheel. Because it's time to stop settling and to really show up for yourself. So, again, here's all different ways that you can connect with me. And in my office, I do have a personal Instagram and all that. I don't really share too much on there. So that's why I shared more of the Thrive. Oops. Okay. This happened last time. My Facebook link is really live. So I appreciate everybody's time here. I'm excited because I am going to do the giveaway in just a moment. But before I do that, again, we were talking about everything internally here. And the truth is, when you feel better, you just show up differently. So, this is where the fun begins because Karen has so much to share about how to express your style. And she is so the expert in that. But this cookbook is my favorite one right now. In fact, when Karen was down here visiting, I think I cooked something from this cookbook because I was just like, oh, it's my favorite. Okay, I have everyone's name in here. This is blind. I am just going in and seeing, let's see, Kristen W. is not here. Okay. Heather Armand is here. Look at you, Heather. Congratulations. Woohoo!
Thank
That's
you.
awesome. And I'm even going to share with you, and you're here locally, so I can give it to you. This is actually from my kitchen right here and my favorites here. So
Okay,
yes.
great.
So
Thank
thank
you.
you, everybody, and thank you. I hope that that was exciting and interesting. But now let the fun begin with Karen.
Well, I think it's all fun because what you help us with helps us get ready to have the fun. So, yes, I'm going to try to get through this kind of quickly too without sacrificing some of the fun. But Lori's been talking to us about wellness, and that it starts with the internal work, how we care for the insides of our bodies and our minds, which is so important. And I have gone through the wellness program with Lori and Dr. Rappy, so I'm speaking from experience too. And there's another layer to our wellness, and that's how we project the internal light to the outside world. And that's what we're going to be talking about when it comes to what's on the outside of our bodies. So I'm going to try to share my screen. Well, first of all, before I do, let me stop that for a minute. I want to just give a quick intro. So I am this little talk that I'm going to be doing is inspired by, I'll call it inspired by this new book. It just came out on May 5th by a celebrity stylist named Erin Walsh. I learned about Erin actually from Lori. She asked me if I had heard this stylist talking on the Mel Robbins podcast, on a Mel Robbins podcast, which I had not. But of course, I went right to it. If you know Mel Robbins, you know she has amazing guests on her podcast. If you're not familiar with her, she's a motivational speaker, a podcast host, an author. She has the most incredible guests in all walks of life, and I always learn something. So this interview she did with Erin Walsh about her method of dressing, intentional dressing, was just like, I was obsessed. I pre-ordered the book. Lori and I started talking about doing this live together. And I said, I know what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the intentional dressing. So I'm going to just touch on some of her the high points. This book is, there's going to be a giveaway of this book at the end of what my presentation, but it's not just a book to read. There are lots of stories. She has lots of guests who also write pieces in here, mostly people we've heard of, celebrities or people who are in fashion or other kinds of related industries. But it's also really a workbook. And I really like that about it, that gives, you can go through it at your pace, but really actionable things that we can do to help us feel better about ourselves. Basically, that's it. So let me go into sharing my presentation here. And I'm going to start off with a little intro to Erin Walsh.
When you start to see what you wear as a means to embody your best self every single day, when you start to believe and embody the idea that you matter, and that how you enter a room and how you live energetically all day long will not only serve the story of who you are and why you're here, but it will impact everybody. It's the possibility itself is limitless.
So I think that we don't think about fashion in that way often, about how it can actually be life-changing. We think about that maybe fashion is trends, or fashion is supermodels or celebrities, but fashion plays a big role in how all of us feel about ourselves. And so that's what I want to talk about. So I just think it's interesting because Lori mentioned about it's time to reframe in midlife. And we often think of midlife as a style decline, but it's not. Midlife is a time that we can recalibrate. We've now moved into a different season of life. We maybe have finished raising children. Maybe we're retiring. Maybe we're starting a new chapter in a new career or a new avenue of our career. We've lived enough life that we're starting to feel more grounded in who we are as people, and we're ready to face the world without hiding. I think Lori talked about that too, about hiding ourselves. And this is the time of life when we are confident enough, experienced enough, we have enough life experience that we don't have to cover ourselves up. I do want to say I chose this photo. Some of the photos that I'll be sharing in this little presentation are from my blog. Actually, this one wasn't from my blog. I was invited to a cocktail party at the school that I'd worked at for 12 years. It was also the school that my children went to from age 3 through age 11. So I have a very long history with this school. I had retired. I did not want to show up as the retired person. I wanted to show up as a badass. So I had fun with these faux leather pants that I have. I added some leopard and kept it all black. And I walked into that room feeling like I owned it. And so that's what style can do for us. So, how do you think of your closet? Storage? I think most of us think that our closets are a place where we store our clothes. Have you ever considered thinking of your closet as a portal of possibilities? Think back to when we were children and we dressed up. We could be a ballerina, we could be a doctor, we could be a dinosaur, we could be a cowboy, we could be anything we wanted. It was magic. Dressing up was magic. Our closets can still be that for us, but they need a little work probably first. This is why we probably are so confused sometimes when we're trying to get dressed. And I'm going to quote, this is not my quote, this is Erin Walsh's quote. We don't know what the F to wear because nothing works for us in the closet. So our closets as a portal of possibility, in order to get there, we're going to have to do some editing to make it magic. Wouldn't it be wonderful to open your closet each day and it feels like magic in there because everything that's hanging is aligned with who you are. It's aligned with who you're becoming. It's aligned with who you want to feel, how you want to feel. There's a lot of things in there probably right now, if you're like most people, if you're like me, that you probably haven't reached for in a very long time. And I found when I let me just back up a little bit to put some context. I retired from my position at this school a little over a year ago. I had a lot of clothes that were great for wearing to work, but they weren't clothes that resonated with my new life. And I didn't want to get rid of them because they were still in fine shape. They still fit. Like, how could I incorporate them into my new life? And then I started to realize, as I got a little bit farther away from that work role of my that I had, that I was kind of rediscovering the beauty of not having to dress for a role, and it helped me to rediscover for myself the way I have liked to dress many times, and that's like a little bit coloring outside the lines. I like to dress sometimes in ways that aren't so classic or traditional. I like to feel a little bit like maybe that's a little bit of art for me. And just to give you an example, this shirt, I bought this shirt a couple of years ago. I thought it was really edgy. It was from a cool boutique. I loved it. I wore it once, and that was it. I couldn't figure out how to style it. I couldn't figure out what it went with. It felt like there was this big block of pink in the middle, and what was I doing with that? So when we have things like that hanging in our closets that we're not reaching for, I don't know about you, but they take up headspace for me. They drain my energy because I'm constantly looking at them, remembering that they cost a lot of money, so I have to figure out how to wear them. Or I thought it was really cute and it still fits, and why can't I figure out how to wear them? So I have recently, kind of inspired by Erin Walsh, started pulling things out of my closet that I haven't reached for in a couple of years. And it was hard at first to make a pile and put it out in the donation bag. And the more I did it, the easier it got. And I tell you, I'm not there yet, but my closet does not suck my energy the way it did before. So think about that for yourself. If you haven't reached for it in a year or two, somehow it's not working for you and you need to move on from it. Donate it, gift it to a friend, anything like, yeah, just make it, it can have a life somewhere else. It doesn't need to be in your closet. So this is kind of the foundation of what we're talking about today, that Erin Walsh has taught me. Every morning, ask yourself before you get dressed this simple 6-word question: how do I want to feel today? Look in a mirror. Don't look in your closet first. Just think to yourself, how do I want to feel today? Erin Walsh recommends that you choose 3 words that describe how you want to feel on any particular day before getting dressed. Once we establish how I want to feel, how you want to feel, then you put together an outfit that supports that, that helps you feel that way. Not how do I want to appear to other people when I walk into that meeting? Not how do I want to fulfill the expectation that these people have for who I am? No, this is about you. How do you want to feel today? Then dress in a way that helps you feel that way. And I'm going to play a little video with Erin from Erin that kind of illustrates.
Back to that, how do you want to feel? I really had to tap into that this morning. I woke up at 2 a.m. with jet lag, so I didn't sleep at all. I used the method. I asked myself, how am I feeling? And it was exhausted, anxious, and depleted. It was all centered around exhaustion. And then I thought, how do I want to feel today? How do I need to feel today? And I said, elegant, calm, and empowered, because I really needed a boost. So you can look at what I chose to wear. And
so she chose something that made her feel calm and empowered. It's hard to see her outfit, and that's certainly not my style. It may not be your style, but for your own closet, you're going to need to work on building those pieces that help you feel empowered, that help you feel playful sometimes, that help you feel confident, that help you feel calm. And so next, I would like to invite you. Unfortunately, for some reason, I can't see the chat. So I was going to ask you to put in the chat, but maybe we can just do it to yourself. Think about right now, just for a minute, 1 to 3 words about if you're getting dressed tomorrow morning, You probably have an idea of what your day holds tomorrow. How do you want to feel walking into that day? Do you want to feel grounded? Do you want to feel supported? Do you want to feel playful? Do you want to feel in control? Just give that a thought for just a few seconds and think about how you want to feel. I know for me, I've never thought about that in the morning before I got dressed. I most often thought, how do I want to show up so people view me as in a certain role?
So Karen, I love this. Shauna said purposeful. Lauren
Ooh,
said confident. I love that. I
I
love the elegant, calm, and empowered. I just wrote that down. I'm like, oh yeah, I
love
I like that. I like what she said.
just really quick about Erin Walsh. She's a celebrity stylist, and one of the clients she works with a lot is, oh my gosh, I'm going to blank out on her name. And she's the one that played it. She's in the new Devil Wears Prada. Anyway, they've been on a press tour for Devil Wears Prada, and she has dressed her in the most amazing things based on how she wants to feel that day. I think this is such a concept. This is such a great concept that we don't think about, but it can it can go a long way in helping us feel good about ourselves.
So we have another confident. We have vibrant. I don't know.
Oh,
Does she
I like
work with?
vibrant.
I like
Yeah.
that too. Anne Hathaway. Is that who she works with?
And yes, thank you. I don't know why I was blanking out on her name. I love her. Um, so thank you for participating in that. But all of us to think about that tomorrow when you get dressed. Maybe pause for 5 minutes to think about how you want to feel, even if it's just one word. How do you want to feel this morning going into your day? And you may be doing that more than once a day because sometimes we have different things we have to get dressed for at different times of day. So think about that. This is a big deep dive in Erin's book. It's her framework called the Create Framework. It's a mindset edit. The acronym stands for clarity, ritual, editing, alignment, truth, and expansion. And I'm going to just pop off of this really quick, the share, because to talk about those words. Why did it stop? Okay, here we go. Hi again. I don't know why I can't see you guys when I'm sharing my screen. Lori and I tried to figure it out before we started. Anyway, so the create framework. Manifestation is the process of bringing our desires and intentions into reality by harnessing the power of our mind and beliefs. Some people think that's very woo-woo. It's really not. It's science-backed. And manifestation doesn't mean that you have an idea and suddenly it's going to appear before you. Manifestation requires us to be working toward a goal or a dream, and we have to make steps toward that. Everything we do leads us to how we're going to manifest that thing. So working through the create steps kind of helps us manifest and helps us build the foundation of how we're going to show up as our best selves and how we feel best. So does it help for you guys to be looking at that word while I'm talking or not? Yes, no? Is it fine? Okay. So the first word in the create framework is clarity. That's pretty self-explanatory. I thought, get clear on who we are, get clear on our goals, get clear on how we want to feel. The second word is ritual. And I know that Lori is a really big proponent of rituals, as am I. I have, over the last 4 years or so, I have established rituals that I do every morning. If it's new to you to establish rituals, or a routine is another way to say that, and start with one thing. My morning ritual consists of a meditation, a spiritual reading, and movement for sure every single morning, and a special lemon apple cider vinegar drink that I always have. When we have a ritual like that, it helps ground us. It helps us feel strong. It helps us start on our path for the day in a more intentional way, feeling like we've given ourselves kind of the nurturing that we need to do before we start on the day. The next letter is E for edit. We talked about editing with the closet, and that's there in the book. she goes into much more detail than I'm doing here. So there's more things than just the closet when we're editing. But basically, it's like looking at your closet. We all probably are familiar with Marie Kondo, who you hold up something, you say, does it spark joy? You can do that with your closet the same way. It's not sparking joy, but can I, is this garment supporting who I'm becoming, who I am now? I am not the same person I was even 2 years ago. I'm a new retiree. It's taken me a year and probably ongoing to figure out what my life looks like and what my wardrobe needs to look like. And what do I do when I'm just sitting at home all day writing a blog post? Am I going to wear schleppy sweats? Because I feel really crappy when I do. So maybe I'll wear some jeans instead. It doesn't have to be fancy, just something that makes me feel supported. And that if somebody came to the door, I would feel confident to answer the door and like I'm not sitting there in my pajamas. And then A is for alignment. Now, Lori talked about alignment. So we're so aligned, Lori. But alignment it can be a little woo-woo in this context because it's about aligning your energetic inside and outside. So how do you feel inside that you want to project on the outside? That's kind of the way I can explain it. We all know in manifesting and in intention setting, we're creating new neural pathways. So in alignment, that's what we're doing there too. We're creating new neural pathways to become who we want to become, how we want to show up in the world, how we want to show up for ourselves, not being small. Clothes are really a language. How we dress is a language. It's a communication tool. If you come across somebody on a street and you don't say any words, what you're wearing sends a message. So we need to think about, and we don't need to, but I suggest that you may want to think about what message is the way you dress sending. How is that representing you? How is that communicating who you are in that moment? And then the T is truth. So that's about being our authentic selves. And I think Lori talked about that too, especially in midlife where we've done a lot of dumb things in the past. We've done some difficult things and we're at a place in life where we should be okay with showing who we really are. And that's also to ourselves, our inner selves, not just to the world. Sometimes we want to be really feminine, and that's who we are. And sometimes we want to be a boss, and that's who we are too. And then the last letter is expand. So this is about becoming your supernova self. This is a term that Erin uses in her book quite a lot, and I just kind of fell in love with it. I shared it with Lori a week or so ago. But first, I want to read to you a quote from Michael Kors that she includes in her book. Fashion is meant to make you feel like the supernova version of yourself. So how is a supernova how is a supernova going to relate to a person? So I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back to my share here. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, why is it not going? There we go. So meet your supernova self. A supernova is a star that has come to the end of its life and it explodes into the brightest thing in space, sending material outward that some of it becomes a star, some of it becomes a planet, some of it, I guess, dissipates in space, but it's bright. It's taking up space. It's expanding. So what I want to suggest to us all, because this is a time of life that we shrink. We're used to hiding. We get older. Nobody looks at us anymore. Nobody notices us. And it's not the time for us to shrink. This is the time for us to expand. Don't let society hide you. Don't let society convince you that you have to be small. And then this is my little bit of philosophy that I want to add. When these are all photographs from blog posts, and my philosophy about clothes is I think of them as toys for grown-up women. I think they're playful, and that's what they're there for. Play with them, experiment, make outfits. If you're not sure about an outfit and you want to wear it, ask a friend, or there's so much content now out in the world online. You can Google anything about how to style a pair of red jeans or how to style a pair of beach pants. You can probably tell too that I'm partial to pink. That's something that I have let myself wear in about the last 8 or 9 years. When I was a little girl, I have no idea how this got into my head, but because I had brown hair, I thought that I could only wear brown or pink. Those were the colors that I believed looked good on me. So as I became a teenager, I wanted nothing to do with pink. And now I've started wearing pink in my 60s when people might not think pink is a color to wear in your 60s, but I love pink. It makes me happy. I think it's feminine. I think it can be bold. I'm wearing kind of a fuchsia shirt today that's very bold. So don't take clothes too seriously. Have fun with them. That's what they're there for. They're toys. Think of them as toys. And then finally, I just want to leave you with this sentiment. This was a sign I came across in Mallorca, Spain, and I just thought it was so perfectly worded. Beauty begins the moment you decide to be yourself. That's where you shine. Be who you are and be confident in who you are and don't hide yourself. Expand, take up space. Be noticed. Don't be afraid to be noticed. Don't be afraid to wear something that you think might be attention getting and somebody might have an opinion about it. If you want to experiment with something that's maybe a little flashy or a bright color, you can try it with a scarf. You can try it with a jacket. You can try it with a shirt. It doesn't have to be super. It doesn't have to overtake your whole outfit. But just remember, beauty is when you're shining, and confidence comes from that. Okay, let me come back to you. There you are. So that's what I have to say. I'm going to do a giveaway as well for the art of intentional dressing. And I'm going to also, we'll follow up with you all with an email tomorrow. I'll include my contact information in that email, and as well as where you can find the podcast for Erin Walsh if you're interested. It's a really easy way to consume her content. This book is a little bit dense, but there's so much you can jump around in it. So thank you so much for being here and for listening. And let's do the drawing. Here's my little packet here of names. Lori, I have to look at the list to see if the person's here. Okay, I have a name. Darlene. Is Darlene Colson? Darlene.
Oh, Darlena.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Wow.
Darlena.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations. I think Lori probably has your address. I can get it from her to send it to you. Is that right? Lori, you have Darlena's
I
address?
don't know if she has my new one or not, but yeah, I can get it to you. Or when you send me your email, I can send it to you too.
Okay, perfect. That's great.
Yeah.
I hope that you
Thank
enjoy
you.
the book. It's just like
Awesome.
if you like fashion, she's just fun. I just find people and their perspectives on fashion is just a fun way to interpret and to just learn more. So
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. I'm
So
excited.
now we're kind of at the end. If anybody is interested, we will stay on. We would love to hear any insights you have, any questions regarding how we nourish ourselves, our bodies, wellness, or how we move through the world or fashion. Any of it. Lori and I are available, and we're going to unmute people, right, Lori?
Yeah, so you guys can unmute yourself, and I want to start because I hadn't heard Karen's presentation. I mean, I knew kind of what she was going to talk about, and I like wrote down what like really resonated with me because what you shared was awesome. But that sucking your energy, like, oh my gosh, that was so good. When I think about when I walk into my closet,
Yes.
that just, I was like, I need to do something different.
I never really thought of it like that until I started taking things out. And I actually feel so much lighter when I start looking through my closet now. It just like there's a lightness to it. It's just the beginning. I've only started. There's a whole work in progress ahead of me, but it's a start.
It's a
Thank you,
start.
Lori.
That's, yeah, I love that. Did anybody else have any questions, or even if you wanted to share anything, we'd love to answer any questions. No. Now, Nancy, you wrote on here, no jeans ever. Why?
Oh,
Why?
I I don't like how they look on me. I don't like how they feel. You can never get a pocket right. The crotch is wrong. I had to wear them when I worked in a paper mill. I do not
oh,
wear jeans.
and that's totally fine. That's you. That's what you're
Yeah,
representing yourself. And if you have a memory of them from working in a paper mill that makes you feel whatever that feeling was, then yeah, you don't want to wear something that makes you feel negative or bad about
right,
yourself. There are so
right.
many pants styles out there now, and
Mhm.
you know, I'm always looking at clothes because that's kind of my little hobby here. And there's what's really been popular in the last maybe year or two are elastic waist pants that are cool, that are really fashionable, but they're making clothes that are comfortable too, that look good.
Mhm.
But I don't
Yes.
blame you. I wouldn't wear something that makes me feel awful either. And it's hard because jeans are everywhere.
Yeah.
They
And
are,
they don't look right on everybody.
oh,
You know, there's so many. First of all, when you're looking for clothes at all, you have to ignore the sizes because every brand has their own way of sizing. So you might be a range of sizes that are, range 4 sizes depending
Right.
on the brand. So don't let that discourage you. And then it just depends on the style. I just recently decided to try a pair of barrel leg jeans that I thought I would never wear. I didn't like them. I didn't think they were flattering. And I decided to do a blog post on them. And my whole picture was barrel leg jeans, yes or no. And I found a pair that I liked. I didn't like all of them, but I found a pair that it just has to fit your body. Everybody's body is really so different. So,
And a couple years ago, I started putting on clothes, turning my back away from the mirror.
oh,
I first wanted to see how I felt in them.
oh,
And then if I did, then I turned around and
that's a good barometer. I think that's
yeah,
yeah, I hear you. I have clothes that I think are cute, but they're not comfortable to wear, and
yes.
so then I don't wear them. So that's my new
I,
criteria too. It has to be comfortable
mhm.
before it can be cute.
Yes, yes.
look
Yeah.
at you, Nancy, with those ideas. I love that. I never even thought of that. That's so cool.
I'm older.
Uh,
Yeah, that's
thanks,
it's
Shauna. We appreciate that.
you, Shauna. And if we're talking just one more thing about fashion, and I don't want to take over anybody's other comments you want to make, but with online shopping now, which I don't know about where you shop, but where I shop,
No.
there's not that many choices that are available in physical stores anymore. But
Right.
you order multiple sizes in your house, you try them on in your house. And what I've just recently been doing, I bought a pair of red jeans. I was going to just use them on my blog. I wasn't going to keep them. I do a lot of returning. But they've been sitting here. They're from Nordstrom. Nordstrom has a super forgiving return policy. So I probably had them for 6 or 8 weeks, looking at them all this time because I like them, but I'm so bad at making snap decisions and then regretting what I kept. So I looked at it for like 8 weeks and finally thought, okay, I've looked at these pants for 8 weeks. I think I'll keep them. But you can do that. Return policies are different at different retailers. Nordstrom's one of the most generous. Also, Quince, if you're familiar with Quince, they have a 365-day return policy. So if you want to
Oh,
try things at home, and Nordstrom, they don't even have a time limit. You could probably return something 2 years later to Nordstrom and they would take it back. So just keep that in mind too.
Karen, what are some of your favorite brands for pants and jeans? Because you always have such a
yeah.
great selection of them. I feel like I get stuck on finding good fits.
Yeah, I'm developing a new philosophy about jeans. I will say, I've I have to say I have several pairs of jeans that I bought last year at Old Navy. They call them Wow jeans. It's one of their lines, and they're really affordable. And they're not bad. They fit well. They seem like they're good quality. So I like the Gap family of brands, Banana Republic, Gap, Old Navy. Nordstrom has a lot of, they have so many options. And actually, in my local Nordstrom, they usually have a pretty good selection of jeans in their store as well. Um, but I have decided to start being more intentional, a little bit of a different way, maybe than Aaron Walsh is talking about what I buy, because I think I've decided to invest in things that might be a little pricier, but will last way longer than some of the
Yeah.
fast fashion. And the fast fashion, I'm developing a conscience around that too. Like, I'm not saying I will never buy fast fashion, but there are retailers. Everlane is one. Nordstrom has some lines. Athleta, which is a Gap brand, even though the other brands aren't like this, is a B certified corporation. So there are companies that are ethical and sustainable in their practices. And I'm trying to think about supporting them more. They're a little pricier, but then they last longer. Two of the things that I go back to time and time again in the winter, I have a cashmere sweater that was my husband's. We've been married almost 40 years. Before I knew him, it was a V-neck cashmere sweater. It doesn't fit him anymore. I wear that every single winter. And a jacket that I bought years ago, it was $400. It was so expensive for me. And I wear it every single year. So I'm feeling like maybe less is more and investing more in things that are better quality. But the jeans, I think Nordstrom and all the Gap family of brands, that's where I usually go. My favorite brand of jeans, but it's because it fits my body shape, and everybody's body shape has to find their own, is AG. And they are a premium brand. I usually buy them on sale, but it just fits my figure. So
Oh, and that's a really big piece is, yeah, we all have different figures and we have to deal with, yeah, we have a smaller waist, bigger hips,
I'm
smaller
very
legs,
short and
bigger
busty. I
legs.
have a long way, so that's a whole thing too. And yeah.
Oh, I'm the queen of if I find a pair of pants that fit me, I will get one in every color because I'm like,
Color.
oh my God, it's so hard to find
I've done that.
bottoms that fit
Yeah.
properly. So,
I do want to mention too, going back to what Lori talked about, I was feeling quite nervous about this presentation. Lori's a pro. She does classes all the time. And I'm comfortable in front of the camera, like the still camera, because I do that for the blog, but I don't do a lot of these. So thank you for being kind to me. I was getting myself all worked up. I don't know why, the nervousness of it. I employed some of the things that Lori had talked about in her April articles. I kind of put my hand on my heart and did some breathing exercises, and it really worked. So the tools, what I love about the articles Lori's been writing that we share on my blog as a collaboration, is she always leaves people with a tool. If you haven't, you might already be seeing those. I don't know if you are, but if you're not, ask Lori how you can. But she always leaves, the end of the article includes a tool that you can use at home, which I think is really valuable.
yeah, I love that. I appreciate you adding that piece because, yeah, like I was saying, there's so much noise out there. There's so much advice, there's so many things, try this, do that. And just finding those basics, again, for those of you, some people on here have known me for a long time, you know how I love to go back to the basics. And it's almost like what you're talking about, Karen, like simplifying the fashion, cleaning up because, yeah, I think about my closet right now and so much that I've just had there for so long and I don't know why I keep it. Every time I pull it out, I never want to do anything with it, but somehow feel like I need to. And they're not necessarily expensive, but just having those real basic foundational pieces. So with your clothing, but then also just that foundational piece of connecting with ourselves. It's so easy. It's free. You can do it anywhere. You don't need any fancy tools, any fancy things. And sometimes people think, oh, the simplicity, that doesn't work. But it really does. Really does. Just a hand on your heart, hand on
Yeah.
your belly, and just connect with your body and see how you're feeling, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, and then being honest about it and breathing through it. I love it. And you did great, by the way.
Thanks.
That's
I
really great.
read
Yeah.
recently or heard recently that if you put your hands on your heart, it your physiological reaction or is the same as if you have is somebody hugging you.
Oh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I thought so too. So you can just
Hmm.
give yourself a hug just by doing this and getting all the
Yeah.
good.
It's like bringing all that energy back here into you. Oh, I love that analogy. I hadn't thought of it that way. What a beautiful thing. Because, yeah, we're so big at giving everything to everyone and giving so much of ourselves away to everybody. Now it's almost like if you call it all into yourself like that,
Right.
so that we can connect with who we are, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. So,
Mhm.
it's awesome. And so you guys don't have
Yeah.
any little pressing questions about your nighttime routine? Any questions for Karen about little fashion tips? I do say I'd love to have you guys look at her blog and follow her online because if I'm going to do something different, if we're going to go somewhere and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to wear, I'll flip through her pictures because she's really fun in how she puts outfits together and her jewelry. I feel like I'm a little bit more boring
No,
how I dress. And
I
so
always admire
I'm
yourself.
always like, okay, did Karen tuck her shirt in or did she wear a belt? Oh, what did she put with that? Ooh, that's cute. And sometimes I'll send her pictures too. If I'm going to any sort of an event, I'll do like what she says and I order a bunch of dresses or something. And I'm always just like, just taking the picture. And what's fun for me is because when my daughter Nicole was little, she was my fashionista. And so, but she moved out in 2012 when she graduated high school and never came back. And so, yes, I can send her pictures. Um, Now I have Karen too, so which is fun.
And
And
that's
so that
why I
the two
play.
the two of them love their fashion together too. So I hope you guys follow the blog. This is recorded and we're going to send this off tomorrow. Karen has a handout. We're going to get all the giveaways to you guys as well. And, utilize the handout that I gave you too. I didn't have a lot of the time to talk about the morning and evening routine, but it's just some pointers on how to build that because having those little consistent actions every day, that's how we're going to get to our goal. And I'm like literally with my notes, I just think about how I want to show up. I'm going into my closet, so I'm excited about that. So thank you everybody. If you guys don't have
Thank you.
anything, thank you for being here. I'm going to
Thank you.
off the
Thank you.